while he was abducted. I was out there for a week with him and stuff. And
when they abducted him?
well, no, not when they abducted him, but it was after he'd already been abducted and stuff, and I didn't know it. But I was at this place where he was at. They arrested a bunch of guys. Supposedly, they knew where he was at, or that they had something to do with it, which they didn't. People that got arrested didn't have anything to do with it. The guy John David Bonnaci got away. He was the one that actually did it. Police caught him and stuff. He was wanted in another state. They let him go. He was wanted in Texas, I guess, because this is I got a list from David Thorstad on him, and also from himself, from John Bonnaci. And he said that he had a deal worked out with the FBI in some town. He was working with them to try and get some NAMBLA people in trouble and stuff, and try and put a bad name on them and stuff. He was working with some dirty FBI agents, which doesn't surprise me anymore.
What town?
Well, out in on the East Coast. I'm not sure exactly what town. All I know is that the ones he was working with were good enough to get the charges dropped in Texas against him for sexually molesting some boys. He had just gotten out of prison in Buena Vista, Colorado, for the same thing.
Okay, spell his name for us.
Bonnaci, B-A-M-M-R. Is it on here? It is. It should be. B-M-A-M-M-A-R-I-T-O. Or Barons. Yeah, he went by several aliases. Barons.
Barons for last name?
John David or David John Bonnaci.
Okay.
I think it was Bonnaci.
And you don't know, remember what town where the FBI agents were, or what they were going to do?
No, all I know is that he got away with basically kidnapping Charles Dyson, and the other guy that was with him got in trouble for it, and that was, I don't know, I think it was Hugh Hamill. Hugh Hamill didn't have anything more to do with it.
Okay.
I got all that written down.
Would this kid come back then?
Charles Dyson he went back home when I was in 82 and stuff. And I think he got back home either at the end of 82 or the beginning of 83. He went back home. They got him on a bus ticket. And
was he found by the police,
home.
or did he turn himself in, or what?
Well, he came back home on his own. He came back on a bus and stuff, and the police made it look like... I mean, I know the kid and stuff. He... the entire time he was with them and stuff, I don't know if they ever molested him or not when he was with them. I know that he went skiing and stuff because I was with him part of the time, and basically we went out and did, had a lot of fun and stuff. And I don't know if he ever got molested or not. I think he did. But I don't think
was he actually kidnapped, or did he go voluntarily?
He kind of went voluntarily, but he was under the age, so he said he kidnapped him.
And how long was he gone?
About a month, I think.
And Bonnaci had him the whole time?
Bonnaci and some other guy that was with him. I'm trying to remember what the guy's name was.
And you saw him? You were with him that time?
I was with him for a couple of days when I was out there and stuff.
Where?
Out in Connecticut. It was at the Wareham. They had a Wareham cottage where they were at. Wareham, Massachusetts, I think it is.
There's Wareham, Mass. Yeah.
That's what it was in Wareham, Massachusetts, where they were at. That's where they busted, I believe, either Dave, I think it was Hugh Hamill, and they also arrested Harold Baker, who at the time I think was 17. They charged him with being, they had this big thing and stuff, making him look like he was a sexual pervert, doing stuff with minors and stuff. He was only like 17 years old when this was going on. Police were doing that to him.
Police were doing what to him?
Charging him with kidnapping or something like that, and he didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, they charged these guys with all phony charges.
What police?
The Massachusetts police and the New Jersey police. And I know that they were false charges because I was out there, and Hamill and this other guy Baker had nothing to do with this kid's abduction. These guys brought this kid there and stuff, and they didn't even know that he was abducted for a while. And when they found out, they told them they had to go on. They couldn't stay. These guys couldn't stay there. And so it's like they made this kid Baker, who was like 17 years old, look like he was a pedophile or something, because he was messing around with kids that were about 16 and stuff, which were basically his own age. Yeah.
Where are these guys from? These two guys?
Hamilton. They're from the Boston, New York areas. With NAMBLA, Boston and New York City are not separated.
Were these two NAMBLA guys?
Baker was, I know he's been involved full force with it. And Hamill, I don't think he ever really got involved with NAMBLA completely. I know he wrote a lot of letters to him, so I read a couple of them when he was in going to jail stuff. NAMBLA did a lot of legal work for him. They had their attorneys working with him and working for him, trying to get him out.
What was he in jail for? On this charge?
On this charge, which was
trumped up.
It was trumped up by the police and stuff because they were on a witch hunt and after him, even though he hadn't done anything with that. You know, he'd done stuff with other kids and stuff, but he hadn't done anything with the one they were charging him with. So they were making up for it, I guess. Next guy is a guy named Tank. Any gay bar in Omaha, they'd know exactly who he is. Although the Omaha police thought he was a fictitious person, probably made up in our imaginations, and yet he actually exists and fits the description that we described him at.
The Tank is who?
He's a guy that he hangs out in the old market area. He's kind of an old troll. Just hangs out and looks for kids or young guys. And
is he white or black?
White. Kind of big build. Kind of like a motorcycle fat guy. Lived up in Harney Street at the time, which was where I lived out when I first met him.
Oh, you and when did it happen?
Oh, I met him in... First time I met him was in the mid-'70s, and I first got involved with Carlson and that, and started going down to the old Diamond Bar, which was not where it's at now in Omaha, because it's about a block away, because it was across the street from the bus station, which now is a parking lot where it used to be at. So we tore the building down, moved into what used to be the Mosey's Inn, which my aunt used to work at. She was a bouncer and a bartender. Used to throw guys out there, and Mosey used to be the he was a chief of police in Omaha, and he's a really nice guy because I met him several times. And after he died, they closed up the bar, and Diamond Bar took over, which is a gay bar, and they took over or bought it out. And they moved in, but that's where I met him at. And I was with him under about 10 times, and he was at parties. I met him on the run, and then I met him at parties with Ben and stuff. He was partying with them all the time. And the next guy is Fat Freddy, which his real name is Fred Mertzstar. He's, as far as I know, he's still living downtown area and stuff. He's still picking up young boys. He's always had runaways living with him and stuff, and he always takes advantage of them, making them prostitute themselves to other guys, to himself. At the time, he was probably in his 40s. So he's probably well into his 50s now, probably about mid to late 50s. This heavyset guy that always complained that he was going to die of cancer and die of this or die of that, and he never died. Maybe he should have. I met him at the same time I met Tank. So they were kind of running together. They were friends stuff. And he lived up in Jackson Street, about 16th and Jackson. He always lived in the downtown area around the gay bars and stuff. I met him at the same time we should go out in the mid-'70s. And I also seen him at the run at the party there. And the next guy is David Grote. I was with him 5 to 10 times from 79 to 82. So I went to prison, I think that was. I was out in New York, and I was with NAMBLA. So he was involved the same.
Do you know what he does? If you know what any of these people do for a living, mention that also.
Yeah, I will. He goes to prison.
If he's a prison ex-time?
Well, I think he probably would be now. I think he went to prison in 82 or 83. I'm not sure. All I know is he disappeared for a while. NAMBLA was complaining about one more members with 92.
For child molestation and what?
Yeah.
Well, do these NAMBLA guys pick on girls too?
Some do, but most of them involved in NAMBLA are involved with the boys and stuff. At least the ones I know. kind of